wake up, you think, you decide, and you trust that everything happening inside your mind is real. But what if the voice guiding your life isn't always telling you the truth? What if, quietly and consistently, your brain is shaping your reality in ways you don't even notice? This isn't about something being wrong with you. This is about something being hidden from you. Because the most powerful illusions are not the ones you see, but the ones you believe without question. 1. You believe your first thought is the truth. The moment something happens, your mind reacts instantly. Someone doesn't reply to your message, and within seconds, a thought appears. They don't care about me. You don't question it. You don't analyze it. You just accept it. But your brain is designed for speed, not accuracy. It creates quick meanings to protect you, not necessarily to reveal the truth. That first thought is often built from past experiences, insecurities, and emotional memory, not from the present reality. And the dangerous part is, it feels so real, so immediate, that you never stop to ask if it's even true. Your brain tricks you by making assumptions feel like facts, and unless you slow down and observe it, you end up reacting to a story that was never real in the first place. 2. You remember pain more than reality. Your mind has a strange habit. It holds on to the moments that hurt you far more tightly than the moments that healed you. You can forget 100 good days, but one painful memory can stay alive for years. That's because your brain is wired for survival, not happiness. Pain is stored as a lesson, a warning signal, something you must never repeat. But over time, this creates a distorted version of reality. You begin to see life not as it is, but as it once hurt you. Your brain replays those moments, exaggerates them, and sometimes even reshapes them, making them feel bigger than they actually were. And slowly, without realizing it, you start expecting pain even in safe situations. This isn't because the world is dangerous. It's because your brain learned to believe it is. 3. You think people are judging you more than they actually are. There are moments when you replay conversations in your head again and again. You think about what you said, how you looked, how you sounded. You imagine how others must be judging you, but the truth is much simpler and much quieter. Most people are too busy thinking about themselves. Your brain creates a spotlight effect, making you feel like you're the center of everyone's attention. It magnifies small mistakes, turning them into something that feels unforgettable. But in reality, those moments pass unnoticed by others. This illusion creates anxiety, self-doubt, and unnecessary pressure. You carry the weight of judgment that doesn't even exist. And the more you believe it, the more you start shrinking yourself, not because the world is watching, but because your brain convinced you that it is. 4. You confuse feelings with facts. Sometimes something feels so strong that it seems impossible for it to be wrong. If you feel anxious, it must mean something bad is about to happen. If you feel insecure, it must mean you're not good enough. But feelings are not facts. They are signals shaped by your past, your conditioning, your fears. Your brain often uses emotions as shortcuts to interpret reality, and the stronger the feeling, the more convincing it becomes. But intensity doesn't equal truth. You can feel fear in a completely safe situation. You can feel doubt even when you're capable. The trick your brain plays is making emotional experiences feel like objective reality. And when you start believing every feeling without questioning it, you lose the ability to see things clearly. You stop responding to life and start reacting to your inner noise. 5. You expect the worst before it even happens. Before you take a step forward, your mind takes you 10 steps back. It shows you everything that could go wrong. You imagine failure, rejection, embarrassment, not because they are certain, but because they are possible. Your brain is constantly scanning for threats, even when there are none. It creates worst-case scenarios and presents them as warnings you should listen to. But here's the trick. Your brain treats possibility as probability. Just because something can happen doesn't mean it will. Yet, you start believing it's likely, and that belief stops you from trying. You hesitate, you delay, you avoid. And in doing so, you don't just avoid pain, you avoid growth. Your brain thinks it's protecting you, but often it's just keeping you stuck in a life that feels safe but unfulfilled. 6. You only see what you already believe. Once your mind forms a belief, it begins to filter everything through it. If you believe you're not likable, your brain will search for evidence to prove it. It will notice every ignored message, every neutral expression, every small sign that seems to confirm your fear. And it will ignore everything that contradicts it. This is how your brain builds a false reality that feels completely true. You're not seeing the world as it is. You're seeing it as your mind expects it to be. This is why two people can go through the same experience and come out with completely different perspectives. Because they're not just experiencing reality, they're interpreting it. And unless you challenge your beliefs, your brain will keep feeding you the same filtered version of life again and again. 7. You think overthinking will give you control. You tell yourself that if you just think about it a little more, you'll finally understand everything. So you replay situations, analyze every detail, and try to predict every possible outcome. It feels like you're doing something productive. It feels like control. But in reality, you're stuck in a loop. Overthinking doesn't solve problems. It amplifies them. Your brain keeps you busy with thoughts to create the illusion that you're in control, but all it really does is drain your energy and cloud your clarity. The more you think, the more confused you become. And slowly, you stop trusting your instincts because your mind keeps creating doubt. Sometimes the answers you're searching for don't come from thinking more. They come from thinking less and allowing space for clarity to emerge. 8. You believe you can't change who you are. There's a quiet voice inside your mind that tells you, this is just who I am. Maybe you believe you're not confident, not smart enough, not capable of change. And over time, that belief becomes your identity. But your brain loves labels because they simplify the world. Once it defines you, it stops questioning. And you start living inside that definition without even realizing it. You avoid situations that challenge that identity, and in doing so, you reinforce it. But the truth is, your identity is not fixed. It is shaped by your actions, your awareness, and your willingness to step outside what feels familiar. The biggest trick your brain plays is convincing you that you are limited, when in reality, you are constantly changing. The moment you question that belief, you create space for something new. Your brain is not your enemy, but it is not always your guide either. It creates patterns, shortcuts, and illusions to help you survive. But sometimes, those same patterns hold you back. The moment you start noticing these tricks, something shifts. You begin to separate yourself from your thoughts. And in that space, you find clarity. Because true freedom doesn't come from controlling your mind. It comes from understanding it.